Welcome. Welcome to the, I don't know exactly, the first reading of the spring semester of the Louisiana Review reading series. So I have a few announcements to make. First of all, this is, of course, tonight is the first of the reading series. There will be a second reading, March 25th, and then a final reading for the semester, March 29th. Do I sound okay? Can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay. I don't like the sound of my voice right now. All right, first of all, if anybody would like to purchase a copy of the Louisiana Review, we have them on sale here at, wow, for $5 a copy. We have, well, look, there's good stuff in it, all right? Just trust me, all right? All right, I pointed out copies for sale, good. Also, we would like to, Dr. Fontenot and I would like to thank Carolyn Bruner Harrington for her generous support of the Louisiana Review. She is, go ahead, Carolyn, stand up, and then y'all should applaud, okay? And this is the way it works. And her support goes beyond simply wearing the Louisiana Review t-shirt, which, by the way, if y'all like that, let us know, because we'll start selling those too. All right? Open mic. Okay, those of you who are interested in participating in the open mic, we have two columns. Well, it's one column, but it's two parts. All right, poetry and fiction, and also music. Okay, so I'm going to pass this around, and I'm going to begin with you. Is it okay? Can you accept this responsibility? All right, very good. Now, one thing to understand, y'all, you are being filmed for television. So if you want to, if you like your profile shot, you want to read in this direction. But if you want straight on, look at that camera over there, all right? Okay. So, and if you don't want to be filmed at all, then please don't read or sing or whatever you're going to do. Fine. Next. A little thing we do here is called the line poem, called by the Dadaist, the Surrealist corpse, or not the Exquisite corpse. Excuse me. Exquisite, the Surrealist corpse. Everything is surreal at this point, right? So we need an opening line. Basically, there'll be a first line, then we pass it around, and everybody adds a line. And at the end of the night, I will read the collective poem of this group here. Okay. But I do need an opening line. Does anybody have...
Where's the beef?
Wow. Really? Who said that? Who said that? How old are you? How are you old enough to know that? No, you're not. Because, where's the beef? Okay, well, where's the beef? Oh, almost, I wrote, where's the beer? Excuse me, hold on just a second. In fact, I wrote, where's the beef? Okay, hold on. Beef. Okay, very good. I've been writing on a blackboard all day long. You have to forgive me, all right? Okay, so I'm going to pass this around. Everybody add a line, okay? But, of course, bear in mind, this is a at least PG-rated event, so, okay? Okay, finally, enough silly business. Let me introduce tonight's reader. Okay, tonight's reader is Kai Russell. Kai Russell is currently a second-year doctoral fellow in ULL's English department. She earned an MA in English from the University of Missouri, Kansas City in 2008, where she also worked at the Writing Center as a tutor, creative writing coordinator, and assistant to the director. Last spring, she received the Timothy W. Adams Award for creative writing. Outside of academia, Kai has a wonderful son and husband who put up with her eccentricities with pretty good humor. Her work has appeared in, or is forthcoming from, places such as Fifth Wednesday Journal, Electric Velocipede, Rio Grande Review, Sugar House Review, Etchings, Barefoot Review, Fickle Muses, and Kaleidotrope. Would you please welcome Kai Russell?
Thank you. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yep.
All right. Unless I knock it all over. I don't trust microphones. They don't like me. All right. I'm going to start off with a couple of poems that feature these weird speakers that I made up myself. I do a lot with fairy tales, which you'll quickly see when I get to some of the other poems, but these are not from any fairy tales I know of, just straight out of my own head. The Gospel according to the Antlered Woman. It has an epigraph from the book of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. 1. Curve your tongue under syllables. Let phoneme crash phoneme. Move among morphemes. Speak to the wind. Call particles out of air. 2. Let the core beat of the whirling terrain ricochet through your vapor. Listen to soil-smeared words twine around hooves and sprout from skulls. Sharpen your horns on syllables. Open your eyes to that dark. 3. Now breathe a name for the universe. Chisel the name in rock and carve existence. Pin a planet's path. Write until worlds twirl through space. Speak from your skin. This one's called Dead Mermaids. I meet Turtlehead Woman at the University Cafe. The day is swampy and she revels in the damp ooze mudding the sidewalk cracks. Obviously, she is a cafe regular. No one stares at her bald green-gray head or pointed, lipless mouth. She smiles a poet's smile and nudges me away from my pen with dry claws. It's not a matter of talent, she informs me. Poetry's dead. She dribbles tea in a saucer and laps the amber liquid with her graveled tongue. She closes her eyes and raises her snout to sniff the summer air. When her eyelids crack open, she grumbles, "You're still here? Don't you get it? The mermaids won't sing to you." It's called The Antlered Woman Responds. On misty gray, not dark, not light days, I feel bones sprout from my temples. I try to catch a glimpse in store windows. I should keep my eyes on the ground instead of stepping out of forwardness, but my allegiance is not to permanent forms. Plain clothes hide hooves and haunches, the elongated grammar of muscle, and me without a trench coat. I am the respiration of the grass, and my animal alphabet fails on a regular basis. Years from now, on a tonal night, my feet will evaporate into cloud, and my antlers will twine with stardust. For now, I am less anatomy than a storm, a glittering, gathering mass, an antlered woman dodging traffic. Discussing the romantics. Turtlehead Woman snaps her beak and wags her stumpy head. Her glossy eyes roll in their sockets. She wraps her arms around her breast, which is human, and rocks back and forth in her seat. No shell, just soft, sagging skin wrapping her bones. Her neck accordions, then collapses her chin to her collar. She mumbles about Keats, Shelley, and Byron before the wool turtleneck swallows her head. These next few, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty dark. They feature a figure from Russian fairy tale called Baba Yaga, and if you're not super familiar with Russian fairy tales, Baba Yaga is basically this old, sometimes she's an ogress, sometimes she's just an old witch. And the cool thing about her is she lives in this hut, and this hut is on chicken legs, so she can make her hut run away from things if she wants to. And instead of flying around on a broom, she rides in a mortar and pestle like the spice grinder. and she has a little broom that sweeps away her trail so no one can find her. And mostly she's bad and eats people, but occasionally she'll randomly decide to help someone, apparently because she likes them. Bedtime story. Baba Yaga wraps her bony fingers around the pole and climbs. She tugs her body over bumps and scaly chicken skin, crawls between the teeth of the door, drops the basket of berries, shoves stringy black hair behind a pointed ear, and fans the coals. The stairs outside my room moan under my stepfather's feet. Ashy hoofprints cover the floor. A ragged wolf pelt cures over the hearth. Crumbs scatter. Vasilissa's blue rose wilts on the floor. In the corner, the mortar smeared with mud. The pestle's crack keeps it from steering her through the forest. A crash on the stairs and a beer-soaked curse. Baba Yaga glares at the broken broom, mutters about walking like any old hag. The silver straws plucked by brothers who swore to clean in exchange for a night's board. Vasilissa crouches in the corner, combing her doll's hair and begging to go home. A chapped hand slips around the edge of my door. Baba Yaga polishes the teeth in her keyhole's mouth and mumbles under her breath. Strangers enter her hut too often. First the girl seeking light, then 3 brothers. She's witch of the woods, not fairy godmother. Time the chicken legs scuttled a new marsh. His grinning face hovers in the hall. Vasilissa glances out the window and nods a greeting to the night horseman. He spurs the horse past the gate. Baba Yaga pinches the girl's arm, shoves a glowing skull into her hands, and points to the door. The girl races away. He leans over me, and the room shrinks. Baba Yaga bolts the door, and her 3 hands shimmer into view. The brothers spoiled the place, then tried to sneak off at dawn. At least the girl said please. Baba Yaga plucks the ruined flour from the floor, checks 3 brotherly roasts, adds more coal. His hand slithers up my shirt. This is how to become Baba Yaga. Build a log hut and stuff the cracks with mud, straw, rags. Twine hair through dirt. Decorate with skulls. Sculpt a pair of chicken legs from river clay and rooster blood. Place them beneath the floor. Rig ropes with winches and puppet your home wherever you please. Invent chants and curses. Mumble them as you tug tendons. Pull your nose to your chin. Pinch your veins until the skin blues and people miss your eyes. Hook your shoulders into a hill that slopes to your head. Oil your hair till it snakes around your face. Knock out every other tooth and sharpen the rest. Train your palate, melt flesh on your tongue. Savor the juice of roast torso. Mop the drippings with bone flour bread. Pluck lips from your teeth. Devour the sins of men. Gulp them down. Absolve. Baba Yaga gets a student. I sleep in my hut, my feet pressed in the door jamb, a breast on each shelf, my head resting against the chimney. The gate creaks and the skulls jaw their greeting. My hut spins round, its claws scrape the dirt. A girl stares without blinking past my blue nose and into my eyes. I order the house to kneel and sweep the girl over my threshold. I take her basket of belladonna blooms. She weaves spider webs into my hair. And with my crooked fingers I draw words from her lips, a cure for her father. I stare into the dish of oil and see his arms paddle the sheets. His feet kick air as he swims his bed across a river. His wife's skin caverns around her mouth. When she was younger, there were dimples, but now her hollow cheeks frame sharp teeth. She counts the coins spilling out of the mattress and spoons poison between his flaking lips. You came too late, girl. Once he bathes in the river, I cannot call him. I shrink my body, and the girl slides onto the bench beside me to gaze into the oil. We watch his limbs twist under the sheets. Together we see behind his lids what plagues the retinas. A beak sifts through loam, snaps up bloated bodies. He slogs through the muck, slip sliding one step ahead of the piercing beak. The mud rises up his thighs, creeps over his groin. His feet tangle in twisted roots. Bronze light flares along his limbs, flays the orbs of his eyes. Fever ulcers his skull. The oil sizzles in the bowl. My apprentice slithers off the bench and hangs the kettle over the fire. This one's called Baba Yaga's Ars Poetica, or Why Poetry Makes Folks Nervous. I wait in my hut behind verses. When I see people coming, I snap my fingers and the chicken legs slime through mud and kick those questing eyes. Once in a while, I fall asleep and someone gets to my door. Words tumble and drag me to the threshold. I have to listen. Their words decide if I talk back or feast on their flesh. Sometimes I'm not even hungry, but I can't let the meat go to waste. Petitioners never seem to understand. It's not my choice. Their words declare when it's baking day. I just light the oven. Baba Yaga sighs. The pestle crushes against the mortar, splinters another anonymous femur. The slivers stab the sides. My fingers cramp around the pestle. I want it to drop. I want to hear it clatter on the floor, or better, the sluck of the swamp swallowing it. Bone flour bread clogs my throat. Cackles hurt my throat. But she demands I exist. And this is the last of the Baba Yaga poems. We're almost done with that. Forgetting Baba Yaga. In the dark, not dark, semi-dark, moon, streetlight shoving past the crack of the blinds. I try to forget Baba Yaga. Shadows absorb my books, and the words dissolve. The chants merge with the curses, and all I remember is that captive Vasilisa kept her head down, let her hair fall in her eyes, and played with her doll. No skulls glow on my shelves. No talismans protect my bed. Nothing snags my stepfather's foot. I hear the shush sound of the door dragging across the carpet. My choice is to open or close my eyes. This one's called Welcome Home. My ankle snaps in the jaws of the house. I crawl from the porch to the grass. The yard's juice blisters my skin. I am melting into the lawn. Flesh dissolves. Fingers tangle in the roots of trees. Who will know these pebbles were shins? Okay, this one gets a little less dark, and it's a response to the wonderful poem by T.S. Eliot, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. If you don't know it, and even if you hate poetry, you should still read that poem. It's a good poem. It's worth your time. Dear Prufrock, it's never been a question to eat the peach or not. Measure my days in cola cans and cigarette butts. When the mermaids sing, I plug my ears. I am not Odysseus. The women here do not remember Michelangelo. The evening shrinks from sleep, breathes heavily and lurks. The universe is already disturbed. I need not add to it. A minute's decisions and revisions will wind the world to the right again. Unroll the bottoms of your trousers. Drag them through the wake. This one's called After Encephalitis, and it's dedicated to my father, who luckily did eventually get his memories back. After encephalitis. The mosquito sucked the maps out of your mind with a serrated needle and left your brain to swell against your skull. 18 wheels spun to a stop, and you called for directions 2 blocks from work. 18 years on the job. The receptionist didn't recognize your voice. She asked you to repeat your name 3 times. Ed? This can't be Ed. Is this a joke? You assured her this was no gag. I can't rightly remember if I turned left or right. And has the Sphinx at the corner of 5th and Main always been there? She talked you through the right turn and stoplight. Aren't you the guy who drives through LA without a map? You tried to laugh. Drove. I drove through LA. You left the truck in the lot when you arrived 2 hours later, got into your Studebaker and drove into the desert, coasting along the blind road. It's called Labyrinth. The mermaid swimming between mossy roots in my backyard looks me in the eye and winks. I yank the curtains off the rod and shatter the bedroom window. Leviathan whisper shouts my name. Syllables drip off the tongue, slide past teeth wrapping around my neck. I dive down his spiral coils and swim. Twisted scales undulate around a temple wall. I slip through a gap and tumble into a window. Clerics chase me down the mildewing hall. I clutch dirty dishes under my robe. A sharp turn and a splintered wall disrobes me. Silverware clatters. I crawl down the hallway. The rough carpet scrapes my knees. I stand in the garden and brush parsley off my skin. Between my fingers, time crumbles and blows out of my hand. I smell my palms, embrace the gray scent. This is Reflections of a Suburban Witch. I smelled the blood of an Englishman today. The old red odor bled through his cologne. I didn't mention it. My spice grinder can't handle bones these days. Besides, who has time to bake? At the office, 2 emails from the cat. It's raining, and the noise against the window disturbs my nap. And later, the dog won't give up the remote. I expect you to rectify this. Of course, those clumsy gray paws can't type. He uses voice command software. Today's talking animals don't bother with rhyme. No one repeats what they say. The house, vinyl sided. No insurance on chicken legs. Who has the money for that? The oven is electric, small. It lacks flair, but it's safer when the kids get pushy. Bedtime story, Redux. I shouldn't have to share my husband with my daughter. The floorboards squeak. Mom paces the hall outside my bedroom. The phone cord taps the wall. I sit in the shadows, a book in my lap. Too dark to read after lights out. Snow White's mother wished on blood, snow, and ebony for a daughter. She died before the girl was weaned and left her nothing but a blessing and a kiss. A snip-snap sound. She lights another Marlboro. The tobacco seeps under the door. I know exactly how old she is. She's already hit puberty. She doesn't look like a 10-year-old. I press an arm over my breasts, crush them under flannel, and rock. Snow White's stepmother caught the girl looking in a mirror, gave her to a huntsman with a long, sharp knife. Only one beauty per kingdom. He stroked his blade and took coins. I lean against the door jamb, pick my fingernails, chew the cuticles, and the hangnail comforts me. A sharp sigh, maybe a sob. She's the one who told me. He said it was just the beer. My teeth tear skin away from my fingers. The princess charmed the hunter. He traced the line of her cheek and shoved her into the forest. She sang until birds dropped from the sky, and tiny men curled around her. Her rosy cheeks glowed, and she smiled. Another gasp. I don't want Mom to cry. She said she doesn't like it, but I know she loves attention. I bite another finger. The skin rips along the nail. I close the book and slip it back on the shelf, tiptoe to the bed and shroud myself with the quilt. Almost done. Selling Red Riding Hood. A wolf lopes away from a farmhouse porch. Inside, Mother packs a basket with tea, biscuits, and jam. She wraps a cloth around the top and calls her daughter. Take this to your grandmother. The basket handle circles the girl's arm. Mother veils her daughter red. Don't speak to anyone in the woods. Especially, don't speak to the wolf you will meet at the crossroad. She smooths the cape over young shoulders. The girl skips off, and Mother scoops coins left on the step. Hey girl, where are you going in such a hurry? The wolf leans against a tree just past where the roads cross. She glances at him and scurries. He jogs beside her. I asked you a question. She turns her face. He strides in front. She skids away. I didn't pay for your words, but you're wearing the veil. He reaches toward a strand of hair and his fur skims her cheek. She sways. The softness shocks her. I'm going to grandmother's house. She bolts down the road, fingers pressed to her cheek. This one is called Every Night is a Night of Bombs Somewhere. Most dances are cries, trying to pin them in place. Look away from Ash, a boy and a girl loving that boy. Screams and statues flash frozen against a night sky bleached white. You and I are flesh. We slam together under a disco ball moon that shreds the clouds. Our verbing legs reverb rhythm. Light gilds your teeth. Another house shatters. The radio wobbles. Chuck D demands we fight the power, and my hips swivel a battle cry. As long as our feet pound ground, we're alive. The night shines. We explode. We blink out the shine and darkness redawns. The alarms die. Evening spreads, a patient bleeding on a table. No ether. Dogs bark. I catch your mouth with mine. Eat vapor and know, tonight, we die. And this is the last one. Drowning in pearls. A strand of pearls bumps up my throat, and the orbs drop one by one from my lips. The last pearl catches in my teeth, and I unhook the strand. It dangles from my fingers. I coil the saliva-damp orbs in my palm and offer them to the man next to me. He yanks the strand apart. and white dots scatter across asphalt. I drop to the ground and gather rolling pearls. I scoop them in my palms, but they slide between my fingers. They spiral away from me, disappearing down sewers. I cough and more spew out of my mouth, unstrung. I choke and blood oozes out around the white balls. Each pearl is larger than the one before, and I know my throat will rupture. I cram one hand over my mouth and press the other against my throat, try to press the pearls back down my esophagus. They dribble out and fall down, pooling around my legs. The asphalt turns iridescent, and the man shuffles away, kicking great clouds of pearls. They fan up, and he curses as they pelt his arms. He flails his hands, but still more shower down. His shoulders hunch, and he stumbles. The pearls roll his feet in circles. His body drops, and still pearls boil from my mouth, shoot between my fingers. His hand claws against the white tide, but the orbs bury him, and his fingertips drop below the pearl sea. Thank you.
So let's move on with the second portion of the evening, the open mic. So first up we have a sort of regular here. We have Natalie Briggs. So, and let me remind you, of course, that you are limited to 5 minutes. So, which is not directed specifically to you, Natalie. Okay, but just 5 minutes. Okay. All right, Natalie.
Okay, the poem I have tonight is called How to Spell Love. String my vertebrae together and personally adjust each subtle curve. Steal the words I finally said, though they may be more than you deserve. Though it took a bit of convincing, in the end I nibbled just a little. This poison apple you call love. My love and your love are just a few letters off. Outline my clavicle valleys in shadows cast by candlelight. Let the folds of my ear bend the currents of your breath, laden with monochrome words. Honesty and lies come only in black and white. I could dwell forever in gray areas, if it make this feel like it had worked out right. I use the diction where feeling is synonymous with emotion. Yours only interchanges it with touch. You hold on to my hip bone handlebars. I'm rather proud of their newfound tactility. I trace your shoulder blade wings. Pinned beneath taut skin, they can never fly you back to her. Move away from my brittle protruding joints and seek softer space to curl up against. Stomach, arms, thighs, or chest, places for you in darkness to safely rest. You seem to think we sleep better together. My coffee-hinted tongue is willing to argue. I'm rarely willing to argue with you. Not going to bed till sunrise can tilt the odds greatly in your favor. The odds are, so often, tilted in your favor. Tangle your calloused fingertips amongst my unruly and overeager curls. Brush your feet comfortingly against my icy cold and green-tipped toes, my dancer-angled ankles. With the faded woven hemp braid, as long as we've been trying to weave ourselves together. To assure me you'll keep me warm and not to be afraid. We haven't been afraid. My torso curves and dips like a cello. My heartstrings are stretched tight despite my youth. Tuned to sarcasm and cynicism, but you don't care. You search for the chords that will play on them anyway. Your musician's soul longs to make music despite the challenge. Faces so close, you breathe in the breath. My body knows enough to reject. I warned you not to taint your lungs with my essence. Nails, bitten jagged and sharp, roam curiously down your back to the base of your spine, where they linger briefly, and then up your stomach to the rhythmic pounding in your chest. Broken hearts still beat. Yours is tuned to her, not me. Your voice sings invitations that I smile and bat aside. Broken rules are hard to keep, and you haven't found my melody. I broke so many rules for you, yet I can't seem to break my habit of loving broken boys. Eyelids, paper thin, invisible capillaries inside. Don't keep out the bright morning light. Eyelashes, mascara thick, caterpillars and circles under eyes. Give butterfly kisses in the morning to pillow-marked cheeks. They're sweet and all, but still mean. It's time to wake up yet again.
Okay, then next up, I love this when people sign up on 4 and 5 and 6 thinking that there'll be lots of people before them, and there it's not. Okay, so I'm going to try to pronounce this name correctly, but it looks like the next person is Asia Vinal. Did I get, what? Vinay? All right, Vinay? Vinay. Oh, all right, one more time. Next up is Asia Vinay.
I'm bad with time, so. Okay, first one. Your smile is like a sneak peek into heaven. Simply perfect. Your voice controls me like a remote, and you know how to work it. Your touch, so anxious to see how it feels. It must be wonderful because these butterflies feel oh so real. This attraction is like a magnetic pull, pulling me up in the air, so fast, so high, I can't help but be a little scared. But I want to embrace this, constantly dreaming of our first kiss. Baby, did you know that you're perfect? That's it for that one. Okay. This is my next. Step outside. Hello. Allow me to introduce myself. You see, I am a poet. No, scratch that. I'm a writer. No, that's not it either. I am an artist. But not just some hand me a paintbrush and some acrylic paint so that I can make you a masterpiece kind of artist, even though I do that too. No, I'm talking about take your simply unappreciated piece of loose leaf paper and turn it into a creation. I can take the keys on your little laptop, the ones that you thought were only good for those boring essays on Wuthering Heights, and turn them into a statement saying, I write America. I write the words no one else wants to talk about. The thing is that no one but God himself can sense the words that come out of my mouth. Well, she sure sounds a little intense. How about you step into my shoes and take a minute to put down your cup of, I blindfold myself when I wake up and look around. Take a minute to go find that key you threw away to unlock your true feelings of the world. Step outside and say, I run this town. That is intense. And if you actually thought about doing that, you might really have a problem. Seriously though, dude, someone's walking off of your freedom of speech. You should really go and stop them. And while you're trying to tell someone that you're more than the color of your skin, this lady wishes she could tell a man that now that I've kissed you, not just kissed you, but now that our lips have connected and my hunch that love at first sight couldn't happen has been corrected, I can see myself giving my heart to you and asking you, begging you please not to break it, and you smiling that pleasant grin saying, never my love, as you put your hands out and take it. But don't even think about taking my words. You can't even fight for yours. I write America. Wake up in the morning and there's breaking news earlier than 5 a.m. It's like the newsman is 100% sure. You can't wait to get up, turn on TV, and say hello to him. They talk for 10 to 15 minutes about all the deaths and accidents due to drunk driving, then quit. Cut tobacco commercial. I write America. In case you forgot, I remember my history. I remember that 100 years ago, I could only dream about standing before all of you talking about the things I feel. 100 years is a lifetime, but then again, let's do the math. You see, my father's mother lived to be 99, and when she was born, slavery was just ending. It's a shame that on her last birthdays, as she put aside her mother's stories of slavery, she had to hear her grandbaby saying how enslavement was just beginning. As I walk around my neighborhood, I see my brothers enslaved. Define enslavement. Just as we were once kept in shackles and chains, they framed their present lives around them. But those very chains and shackles define them. They lock away their chances of successfulness, too busy memorizing the rapper Drake's newest freestyle. Then they throw their book sacks for duffel bags, toss their respect for women to pick up a box of lifestyles. For my brothers, they need protection because the truth hurts. Too busy blaming other race for picking wrong over right at the crossroads, but they forgot that without white people, there wouldn't have been an underground railroad. I ride America. For the kid who doesn't know how to approach his haters, listen up. There will always be opposition, so strap up for war. I load my mind like a gun, but instead of bullets, I've got argumentative words of expression. Oh, did you expect me to go into a depression? Did you think that I would fall in this recession under trial? If I make it, I exceed your expectations. And once I tear past that caution, you're not going to make it tape. You call me for reparations? I write America. Just as people become addicted to the needle and the sensation shoots up their veins, I have become addicted to this ballpoint pen. I see the words bleed off my paper, flow up my pen, go up my arm, go deep into my bone marrow, and then, after I finish my creation, I realize this is not just a poem, it's art. Thanks.
All right, next up we have Jassy Demetz.
This is called My Offering. Your eyes both astound and frighten me. The way they penetrate the darkness pouring into my soul. I feel exposed. I fear that you can see my thoughts as they play out in my mind, visions of the two of us together. I am not one to dwell on things of fancy. I am not one to allow my emotions to take me over, falling into thoughts of what could be. I am the calm, a rock in the midst of wild storms, an island in the great expanse of a restless ocean. Lightning strikes the ground around me. Angry waves crash upon my shores, and still I hold strong, steady. I am a fortress, never penetrated or disturbed, though fierce wars wage around my walls. My high ramparts stand alone on the edge of a cliff, poised, though firmly rooted. Flags wave in the wind from my turrets. Rich colors of silk beckon weary travelers, none of whom dare knock upon my gates. I am a watchful eagle, migrating alone every winter to the warm and majestic lands of a southern country. My soul soars with the wind. My heart longs for freedom. Yet I am solitary, longing for the companionship of a fellow traveler. My flight takes me far. My journey takes me wide. Sights unshared I have seen. I am an oasis surrounded by a barren wasteland none dare travel. Beautiful waters of crystalline blue lay past my borders, untouched by the hands of thirsty explorers. Past my lush green perimeter are beauties untold, mysterious, vast. I am an unexplored frontier of limitless splendor that none know. Lightning, strike me. You, waves, wash over me. Soldier, come find rest within my sanctuary. Beautiful bird, come travel by my side. Explorer, go find your bravery and face the desert. Blinding white lightning, break me. Fierce wave of the sea, cleanse me. Brave and weary soldier, rest within my stockade. Beautiful bird of the sky, share my vision of the world. Thirsty traveler, drink from my waters. What I have, I share with none but you. What I am, I give to you freely.
Sweet eyes that bear my soul, fall into me, surround me, overcome me, and allow me to dwell within you. Give yourself to me, for I am yours if you but ask. All that I am, I give to you. All that I will ever be and have ever been is yours, but to ask. To you I now belong.
All right, our first musical selection of the, not selection, the artist of the evening is Brennan Sanders. You need anything? Oh, where's the beef? Is that the name of your song? I hope.
I'll make one for y'all.
Can we just escape? Can we go away? Can we forget everything that's weighing us down? Can we lose ourselves? Lose the pain? Will we find each other in the end? Will we find each other in the end? Throughout the day, the thought of you and me just lingers in my head. Just that hope, or maybe us is the only thing that gets me out of bed. But before I wake, I try to savor every bit of my dream with you, 'cause I know that you won't be lying next to me whenever I wake up. Whenever I wake up. Can we just escape? Can we go away? Can we lose ourselves? Can we lose the pain? Can we forget everything that's weighing us down? Will we find each other in the end? But I'll be okay, 'cause when I'm with you I feel like I'd never woken up. Like I'd never woken up.
Again, let me remind you. Yes, there we go, okay. Let me remind you that, I don't know what I did to this thing here, but at any rate, let me raise it up a little bit so I can hide my face. Also, let me remind you, of course, we have the Louisiana Review that is available for $5. Also, those of you who are here, strictly for extra credit, you sad people. The forms will be available at the end, and this is just about the end, because I think I've made all the announcements now. It is time for the reading of the line poem. It's lengthy tonight. I need to really adjust this here because this is going to be, I have no idea. I have not looked at it. I never look at it before I start reading. So there is no telling where this is going to go. So at any rate, here we go. Your poem. Oh, sorry, your poem. Okay. Where's the beef? The beef is in the ice chest. Go look. Are you sure? Because I see everything but that. But I put it in there with the toilet paper. Ah, hell, pay attention. Oh, I found it. It's spoiled. Just eat it anyways. Maybe we should throw it on the pit? Where's the cow? The cow? How about the milk? Don't forget the cow tipping. Will constant cow tipping turn the milk into butter? Cream, the cream. Oh, how sweet the cream. Don't worry about the cream. Butter is better. No, I beg to differ. Margarine is better. Only because I can't believe it's butter. Or is it? It looks like butter and it tastes like butter, but it's a brick. No margarine, no butter, not even a brick. It's your mom. This is an outrage, an outrage. Only an outrage would be hitting your mom with a brick of butter. There we go. Enough of moms and bricks of butter. What of snails? That's what it says. I think this line poem fails in life. Where am I? Okay, wait. Never forget, it's the dead flowers that smell the sweetest. Dead fish do not smell nearly so sweet. What is the meaning of this sweet you talk about? I want to go for a walk. I feel happy. Water, fire, earth, air, so mote be? So mote it be? That's not what it says here. Respect my gangsta. Gangsta respected. Bow forward. Work your hormones. Hormones! Sit the truck down. Ask Brennan to repeat. I so do not miss puberty. I don't blame you. All right. But I so wish I could play his chase with him, or let him chase me at play. Wasn't today a pretty day? No, for the stars sent bloodied bags of skin my way to cure my suffering. I'll attach my glittery shoulder pads to destroy villagers' homes and crops. That's it, y'all. Anyway, thank you for coming.